March 16th, 2019 is 10:36 a.m. here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I just want to talk a little bit or kind of just briefly discuss the situation, the unfortunate situation or event that took place in New Zealand. My heart goes out to the family and the victims' families, and also the victims themselves, because that what has happened is it was a coward act. Well, it was uncalled for. It was racially, religiously, and politically motivated by a white nationalist who said himself he planned the event for been planning it for the last years, and he finally carried it out. And very unfortunate. Like I said, my heart goes out to the family and the victims, and to I pray for all the people of New Zealand. New Zealand. Hopefully, they could. It's going to take some time for them to. I don't think they'll ever get over it, but I just pray that they're able to deal with this situation. Eventually, they're going to be able to deal with it a little bit easier, I guess. Uh, but white nationalism is a problem, and it's international. I'm gonna call it global white nationalism, or global white supremacy, or global extremists or extremism is a problem. You see it here in the United States. You can see the effects of white nationalism here in America. It's a problem. And what's her name? Jacinda, the Prime Minister of New Zealand. She said it's a problem. And she spoke about white nationalism, because the guy that committed these heinous acts, he's a white nationalist, and she spoke out against that, and she says it's a problem. I mean, New Zealand is typically a very peaceful place. I mean, if you compared it to the United States, New Zealand does they don't experience those type of events, terrorist events, but that is something that is very common here in the United States. But Jacinda Ardern, I think I'm pronouncing her name right, but she spoke out against it, and she said it was a coward act. And I'm glad she spoke out. I'm glad she brought attention to white nationalism, because it is on the rise all across this world. Global white extremism, and Donald Trump pretty much downplayed it. He was asked by one of the reporters what is his thoughts on global white extremism, or global white nationalism, and he kind of downplayed it. A group of small people with serious problems, and which no, it's bigger than just a small group of people. It's a global network, and we saw it in Charleston, Carolina, uh, Dylan Roof. We saw it in Virginia. It's just it happens. It's happening all over the world, and the FBI also stated have released a report indicating that white nationalism is on the rise. And if you take, especially in 2017, they say that white nationalism, extremism, has risen 17% in 2017, and it is a serious problem. And according to the FBI and the counterterrorist agency, or branch of the FBI, the counterterrorism branch of the FBI, they have also stated that 70% of all extremists or extreme attacks or murders associated with extremism, uh, these white nationalist groups are responsible for these attacks. 70% of these attacks or murders are implemented or perpetrated by these white national extremist groups. So it is a problem that has to be rectified. Something it has to much attention has to be. It's just sad. It really deserves wide world attention. You know, because white supremacy is on the rise, and has to be dealt with, man. It has to be dealt with. Uh, I mean, we have problems here in this country, man. The United States. I mean, black folks are targeted on a daily basis all across this country. Black people, or other people of color as well, but black folks are the primary targets of a lot of these extremist groups or extremist uh, individuals. So there has to be there has to be some change, And Jacinda, she said that the gun laws are going to change in New Zealand. My thing is, man, if you want to combat those type of behaviors or those type of attacks, I believe people should be armed. You got to be armed, man. You have to arm yourself and be ready. Because if there were people in that mosque, if some of those people were armed, then I believe uh, I believe the murder rate or the amount of people that would have died would have been at a minimum. I believe less people would have died had more people been armed. It's sad, that uh, people have to arm themselves to feel safe, but you know might have to happen. I don't know. I'm kind of lost for words right now. I don't really. Uh, my heart goes out to those people, man, and so we'll see. I think I don't know. Have lost their damn minds, man, and these racists, white nationalists, extremists are running amok, man. They are running wild and they're running unchecked and unabated. So something has to be done. People have to fight back. People have to arm themselves and either kill or be killed. Just be ready. Anyway, you guys have a beautiful weekend. Be safe out there. Keep your heads on the swivel. You know, because you leave home, there's no guarantee you're gonna come back. So, you know, if you could carry, carry. I'm not saying you should carry illegally, but man, shit, you got to be ready, man. You know. I think I'd rather have a gun and not, not by law, not being approved or not being able to have one or told I can't have one, and I'd rather have it and not need it and then needing it and not having it, man. So you got to be armed, man. You got to be ready. You know, I mean, but if you can, it's always best to do it the legal way, of course. But yeah, if you're allowed, if you could carry a gun, you got to do it, man. You got to carry it and just be ready. Just be ready. But my heart goes out to those people, man, and I'm gonna leave it at that because I'm lost for words. I'm just lost for words right now, man.